Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Ray, Broadman Baptist Church. This is the Broadman Word for July 3rd, 2023. And our title today is Freedom. You know, we have July 4th tomorrow, so everybody's got their minds on America and our flag and all the patriotic things and the birth of the freest nation on earth and all these very wonderful things. Of course, I want to talk to you about true freedom, freedom found in Christ Jesus, and the freedom that you can have once you become a follower, a disciple, a believer in Christ. Then the rest of your life takes on an entirely different view. You're no longer a slave to the world or anything of the world. You don't have to be afraid of anybody or anything. You can be who God intended you to be. It's an incredibly freeing thing. And so in John, the Gospel of John, chapter 8, there's a couple of passages that we should take a look at. Starting in 35, John 8:35, it says, "Now a slave has no permanent place in the family, but a son belongs to it forever. So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. I know that you are Abraham's descendants, yet you are looking for a way to kill me because you have no room for my word." You see, those who are not free don't know they're not free. In fact, they think they are. They think they're freer and more at liberty with life than Christians are, and they have no room to hear anything different. It's the old adage, you know, the truth sounds like hate to those who hate the truth. Well, that's where we are right now. And John is saying, you know, if you're a slave, like people who are in bondage to the world, they're not free of it yet. They're not wholly or set apart from the world. They're in it and of it. They're slaves. And so they don't have a true part of the family. And of course, John's talking about the family of God. But if you're a son, and the Son sets you free, well, then obviously you are free indeed. And of course, Jesus Christ being God's Son, if he sets you free, then you're free indeed. Not what any slave of the world can do to supposedly set someone free and give them their fleshly desires and their ideas and their their non-accountability to anything but beyond themselves, and on and on, right? So what I want to express to you now then is, like most things in this world, the idea and the world's definition of the idea is very much different than God's definition. The world's definition of free is just to be able to do whatever you want without any thought of whether it's moral or good, if it's good for you and as you have determined it to be good, as long as there's no laws against it, go ahead, right? And unfortunately, as we're seeing more and more, even if there are laws against it, they do it anyway. So, and that's considered to be free, and to be crass and to be on expedition, not a trip, but to be out. Being viewed by the world as much as you can, to be promulgating all kinds of theories and ideas that don't involve anything other than serving self and propping self up. All these things are considered to be free, particularly if you're able to get some money with it. Well, then that's the goal, right? If you can make a lot of noise, be loud, get a lot of views, a lot of clicks, whatever, a lot of followers, and some money, well, then that's considered by the world to be free. However, we know different. We know that true freedom can only come from freedom in Christ. And so this 4th of July, I want you to focus on that freedom. The freedom that this nation has because of the hand of God. It was recognized by the guys who wrote the Declaration of Independence that started this nation, formally started this nation, when they said that mankind is endowed with certain inalienable rights from the Creator. all of the rights that we have that would then go to be expressed in the Declaration and enumerated in the Constitution are assumed to be from the Creator and inalienable, meaning you can't lose them. Nobody can take them. You can't even give them away. They are inalienable and from the Creator. That's a freedom I want you to focus on this weekend, or at least for the 4th of July holiday, is being truly free, because the Son sets you free. And living out that life instead of what the world calls freedom, because what the world calls freedom is actually bondage and darkness. It just unfortunately won't be known by some until the day of the Lord, and or until their physical death, and they have to meet Jesus on the judgment seat, and they'll find out that they were wrong all along, and that'll be a true tragedy. But listen, I love you. I hope you're having a marvelous day in the Lord, and I want you to really be free, Christ free tomorrow, because it's what America was started with, that ideology, and it's the thread that's holding us together still. Take care. You have a good one.